So the next area is about the Leadership and Management Apprenticeship. So we can talk to you a little bit more about that. So Mark, over to you first, if I may.
Yeah, sure. So in terms of who it's for, so as the slide says there, it's for people who are currently mid-level managers or who have had management experience at least. And as we mentioned earlier, also your high potentials that you feel will be the next generation of managers. The duration, so the apprenticeship itself is 18 months long. For those of you who are just doing the diploma outside of the apprenticeship levy, that's a 12-month course. In terms of where it's taught, so the diploma element is all online. So that's 12 months of an online course delivered by Avado. And for the rest of the apprenticeship, there's in-depth work going on with the Arch Learning and Development coaches who will work on a one-to-one basis with apprentices. The level is level 5, qualification, a diploma. And in terms of assessment for diploma users, it's written assessment at the end of each unit. For apprentices, there's also a final written piece as part of the EPA, the endpoint assessment. So some basic facts there about the course.
Thank you, Mark. So what else do they get? What else is included in the program?
Yeah, so if we look to the next slide, we can see the first thing you have is access to an online campus. So Avado have an online campus which is available 24 hours a day, and importantly is accessible, we like to say, anytime, anywhere. So the campus itself and all of the content we create on the campus is designed to work on a range of devices, including mobile. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to sit down for 4 or 5 hours to work on content. We design it in a way that is bite-sized. You can do 20 minutes, half an hour here and there. You can do it on the train, on your phone on the way in. So really important to be flexible around people's lifestyles. We've mentioned also social and collaborative learning. So we found on some of our other courses this works really well and people are hugely enthusiastic about it. So we have forum discussions where we have large groups of students working together to discuss some of the topics that we are covering in the course. And we also have something called Network Week, where you will get together with a few other managers and create a short task based around the unit itself as part of a group collaboration task. And we can get back to these with any questions towards the end as I go through these. Also CMI membership. So for the duration of the studies, all of our students have membership of CMI, and that includes access to CMI's Management Direct content portal, which is an amazing resource full of thousands of articles, e-learning materials, and so on. That's in addition to the standard course that we're providing. We also have access to something called the Career Hub, which is a really useful external portal, again, this time focusing on individuals' career development. As I said, there are online assessments and personalised feedback. So within the diploma, all of the assessments are submitted online and you get feedback from our markers and industry trained coaches. And finally, online live support sessions there, which we've said there are tailored to the group's needs. So the way it works is we have a cohort of students who goes through at one time. And within each unit, we have several tutor support sessions or live webinars, a bit like this one, but with actual experts instead of me. And the way it works then is that we don't set the content for those in stone. We have the tutor talking to each cohort and deciding what that cohort needs, and they will structure those live classes around the needs of the individual cohort. So that's some of what's included in the diploma course. There's another couple of elements which are specific to the apprenticeship, which I think Jason's going to describe.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thanks, Mark. So yeah, I mean, it's just briefly, I just want to talk about kind of the difference, I guess, what an apprenticeship is. Mm-hmm. An apprenticeship is a set of knowledge, skills, and behaviours that map to a particular occupation. So in this sense, there is a level 5 management apprenticeship standard. That standard has been written by a whole host of employers who have all inputted into building this standard. It's not been educational institutions like ours. You know, these are real businesses who obviously have great experience in this field. And those standards are put together, they're then approved and signed off by government. And as I mentioned, they have a certain set of knowledge, skills, and behaviours that someone has to be able to demonstrate to show that they are a competent manager. And I guess that's one of the key differences between having this within an apprenticeship and perhaps buying it sort of as on a commercial basis, is the extra support that you get within the apprenticeship is about how do you apply that knowledge. So it's one thing learning the knowledge and learning some of the skills that you need to have, but really behaviorally, have you made any changes to how you operate within your day-to-day working environment? And that's where, with the help of Hive Learning and also our learning and development coaches, we can help to assess that piece as well. So Hive Learning effectively is an online collaborative tool that we have where a particular learner can utilize the tool to capture any moments in time where learning is taking place or they're working on projects and so on. They can share it with their peers, they can share it with their line manager, and they can share it with their learning and development coach, which is the person from Arch who's assigned to them to help coach and mentor them through the apprenticeship journey. So those learning and development coaches are a really integral part of the apprenticeship, along with the line manager of the apprentice themselves. So it's kind of a three-way relationship here between the individual who's completing the apprenticeship, their line manager who's helping them through on a day-to-day basis, and the Arch learning and development coach. Between those three, who will meet regularly, typically probably around every 4 to 6 weeks, they will get together as a three and work out what projects you're working on and how can you demonstrate actually that you're competent and you can put into practice what you've learned on some of those things, Mark, that you've just described.
Yeah, absolutely.